everybody. The energy of love is within us and is us. Whole and complete is the I am that we are. We awaken to the truth of our being. Will this be done within and without? May we come to recognize that we receive all that we give. We know that we have forgiven ourselves when we forgive others of all grievances held within our minds. May we not be led in temptation by the voice of separation, but instead may we transcend all illusions. For ours is the power, peace, and love of Christ consciousness found within each of us, who is but the perfect extension of the one mind and heart that is shared by all, and is our birthright as the holy extensions of love itself. Our affirmation and faith. We believe in one God, the author and energy of all life, whose love sustains the universe and all things found within it. Our 5 Christ principles. Number 1, there is only one energy in the universe. That energy is love, at all times active in everyone, everywhere. 2, we are the divine energy of love, and that energy is found throughout the universe and in all things, whether seen or unseen. Number 3, we create our experiences by what we choose to think, feel, and believe, thereby establishing our responsibility for our own choices. 4, through opening our heart center, we connect with the energy of love and bring out the Christ within us. Number 5, we express our desire to be of service when we live and demonstrate Christ consciousness in all our affairs. And God loves you like crazy.
Thank you, Bobby. And wow, and everyone who is here this afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for those watching, and thank you to those who will watch later in the week. Boy, have I got something cool to talk about today. All right? I've titled this topic, Living in Abundance. Except there's a problem. Most of us don't know what abundance really is. We've been spoon-fed and told what abundance is. And it is not what you think. It is so much more. But it requires, to live in abundance requires something on each one of our part. We cannot live in abundance unless we have faith and trust. The world tells us that abundance is having all that we want, that the universe is abundant and we can have everything we want, our heart's desires. That is not what abundance is at all, and never has been. First of all, we all should know we kind of live in a universe, a physical universe, where there's the scarcity principle. There's limited resources. And then I hear a lot of spiritual gurus and teachers, abundance. There's of everything. We'll never run out. Really? There's only so much oil in the ground. There will only be so much oil in the ground because it comes from things long since dead in a past that no longer matters. But if having everything you want is your definition of abundance, I'm going to burst a lot of bubbles, I'm afraid. However, if you hear what I am saying, you will be absolutely joyous beyond your wildest imagination. So what is true abundance? Abundance literally is having everything you need. It is why in spiritual groups we speak of there are no needs. There are no needs, therefore there is nothing that you lack. It is impossible to lack because of abundance. Once you understand what abundance really is, you will understand there are no needs, therefore there is no lack. True abundance is the knowledge from here, not from here. Feeling it, not thinking it. If you're thinking about what I am saying, then it will fall on deaf ears. You've got to feel it. You have got to truly feel what abundance is. Abundance really is, in spiritual terms, when a need arises, it is automatically met. Therefore, there are no needs. Because as you need something, what you need arises, and you go forward. It's just a need arises, it's met, move. A need arises, it's met, you move forward, and there's nothing to do with lack. Because in that instance, you know that lack is not real, because you have faith and trust in all things. Remember, Jesus told us, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all things will then be given unto you. That's what he meant. That's abundance. All things, as you need it, it comes. There's no need. It's boom. Remember, he also said something even more directed to the heart, if you will listen to what he was saying. God knows your needs before you ask. We don't need to ask him. That need to ask comes from lack, comes from fear. So you're already outside the boundaries of abundance. He already needs. So how do we apply that into our life? How do we make it work? We recognize that, oh, I need this. There's met. But it doesn't come from lack. It's just a thought. It comes because you know it from the heart. You feel it. You know, number one, you know with absolute certainty that you are loved beyond your wildest dreams. So number one, it comes from God's love, his grace to and for us. I don't have to ask. He knows my needs before I even know them. So the need has already been met. The need has been met. But why sometimes do I not feel like it's been met is because I don't have the trust and faith. Because somewhere or another I don't believe I'm loved. That I'm not worthy. There's the big one. I'm not worthy for God to meet. What a crock. Jesus didn't put a stipulation on anything he said. When he said, God knows your needs before you know it, before you ask, he didn't say, oh, by the way, you'll receive if you're worthy and you meet all the criteria A, B, C, D through Z, like some teachers expound and profess. There are no qualifiers. There isn't a comma behind what he said. It's a period. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, he said, and all will be given. Well, yes, once you've sought heaven, you know that Again, he said, when asked where is heaven, he said it's within. Turn within. And that's where the faith and trust lies. You will never have faith and trust if you're thinking with the mind. It doesn't happen. Will never happen. Cannot happen. Because the mind will fool you. It will tell you that there's only lack. And it will not believe in abundance at all. If it does try to teach you abundance, it will do so in the world's version of what abundance is. Getting everything you want. Notice I didn't say want. Abundance is when a need arises, it's met before you have ever asked. In most instances, before you've ever recognized what the need was. It'll rise. The need and the meeting of that need arises together, and you don't even realize it. It's just there. It's just there. It's just there. And you go from one experience to the next with everything that you need. Notice I didn't say want. Because here's the deal. Most of what we want is not really good for us to begin with. We think because we want it, that it must be good. So we will try to control and manipulate. Beg God, please, I want this, I want this. Every once in a while, yeah, you might get it. But that has nothing to do with abundance. Nothing, absolutely nothing to do with abundance. Abundance is you are each loved and taken care of. Jesus looked at his disciples one time and he said something that was really profound. He looked at his disciples, he said, "Do you see the birds? Do you see the flowers? God gives them everything they need. Everything they need. But you yet worry and are in fear. So you store up grain. You worry about what clothes you're going to have, where your next meal is coming from." He says, and he points again, do they worry? How much does God love them and gives them everything they need? And yet you doubt. And yet you are more loved than even they are. Boy, do you really hear what Jesus was saying? The flowers in the field are loved more than you. If you believe that God is not going to provide all that you need, you are in lack. And even the birds and the lilies of the field don't worry. That's what he was trying to say. They know. They just go from moment to moment, knowing that what they need is provided for. How many of us know, truly know from the heart that what we need is provided for? Or do we yet sit and worry, and we're afraid that we're not going to have what is needed? Now that is where we need to improve. We can't do it here. It has to be done in the heart. I'd like to tell a quick story, may I? Without getting into any details, so I'm going to say very vague, something happened that I got to witness. It didn't happen to me. It happened to a friend of mine, but I got to witness it. This person thought that, and I will use the pronoun he, that he was doing the right thing for himself. Not so much. And he didn't come to several of his friends and say, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking of doing." He kind of left all that out every time we spoke. because a bunch of us would have told him, this is really not a good idea. You might want to rethink it. Well, it wasn't a really good idea, all right? And some very negative things happened because of one decision, one decision he made. Well, that decision put him in need. And I found out about it, but I could not get in touch with him. And what was so cool was he was finally able to get in touch with someone, another course person. I do not know the person, but I know that this man and his wife are both in the course, who was able to supply the need like that. Why am I telling the story? Because the trouble he was in was probably going to last 6 months minimum. And in less than 24 hours, the need was met and everything was smoothed out. When I finally was able to talk to this person, I said, you know what the definition of a miracle is? And he says, yeah, the definition is a change in perception. I said, well, have you had a miracle? He said, yeah, I think so. I said, good. But what does a miracle demonstrate? What does a miracle demonstrate? He got real quiet. And I didn't say a word. I let 2 minutes go by. Dead space on the phone, right? Dead space. I said, are you still there? Yeah, I'm trying to think of the answer to your question. I said, there's the problem. You're thinking the answer to the question. Feel it. And he said, I don't know how. He said, Eddie, I don't know how to feel it. And I said, well, I'll tell you then what the demonstration is, and as I do, I want you to feel it. He goes, okay. I said, yes, a miracle is defined as a change in perception. Completely a 180-degree difference than what you saw or perceived it as. But the demonstration of a miracle is the collapse in time. I said, you just told me the conflict was going to last the greater part of 6 months. And it lasted 22 hours and was done, over and done. Wash your hands with it like Pontius Pilate and move on. It's done and over with. That is the demonstration of a miracle. Who's in charge of miracles? Jesus. And then I said to him, I said, by the way, abundance is having what you need when you need it, and there it was. And that's the miracle. That's the grace. And we don't ever have to ask. We're that loved. And then I asked this person, do you feel loved? And he was honest. He said, no. I said, that's because you're trying to think it. You've got to feel it from the heart. And when you do, your trust and your faith will grow. Now, I'm going to give the third thing of abundance. And I hope each and every one who's watching and who will watch later will hear this. And it is this. Within, within each one of us, within our heart, which is the center of our being, is a center. And at that center is a sanctuary. And in all sanctuaries or temples, there is an altar. And at the altar is nothing, it's plain. And it is our job to walk, take ourselves to that altar that's within us. Remember, heaven is within us. To go to that center point where that altar is. And hear me. We cannot give anything to God, for he is all and has all. But hear what we are to give. We are to give gratitude, and we lay our gratitude on the altar. And then we lay our faith on the altar, and then we lay our trust. And on the other side, and then we are to stand with our hands open to receive. So many pictures of Jesus where he's standing like this. There's a reason. It's symbolic. We are to stand to receive the gifts from God. The gifts of love. The gift of knowledge, true knowledge, wisdom. These are in return for the gifts of gratitude, trust, and faith that we have laid. And with the knowing, the wisdom that we are truly always looked after, that our needs will be met and we never have to think about it or worry about it again. But we cannot go to the altar with our fists closed and receive anything. It's impossible. This represents openness. So try it this week. I'm going to give you a little exercise. I remember when my mentor told me to do it, and I do it still to this day. As Jesus said, go into a closet and pray. He meant, don't do it for the world to see. Do it between you and your God. So when I am alone, I say, God, I am so grateful. Here is my gratitude. And all the faith. And here's my trust. I am your child. And I welcome in receiving your love, your gifts, your joy. And I have yet to walk away within that 30 seconds not feeling it. I don't think it, I feel it. And that feeling is from heart to heart. And boy, from heart to heart is true telecommunication. It isn't mind to mind, it's heart to heart. It's the feeling, because feeling is the sharing. That's how we give. And to know from here, not to intellectualize it, but to feel the knowledge that you are worthy, that you are loved, that you are the child of the one, and that you are loved more than the birds and the lilies of the field. So why worry? What's there to worry about? Why would you worry? When the Master told us, stop. Seek ye first heaven, seek ye first the sanctuary that is within you, the center, at the very center of your being. And all things are yours, which is how it was always meant to be. Now put it into practice. And with that, thank you. And now I will ask Miss Penny to please do our meditation.
Thank you for being with us today. I'd like for us to settle into our seats and relax and breathe in, I am, and breathe out, peace. Breathe in, I am, and breathe out, love. Breathe in, I am, and breathe out, grace. As we settle into our stillness, center yourself into your heart. And in this stillness, become aware of the rise and the fall of your breath. If there is distraction, notice it. Ask yourself, what does this distraction represent? Bless it and place it on your altar. And I'll leave you here for a moment just to breathe in and experience your stillness. As we go into this week, let us remember that all gifts of God are already ours, and to feel the lack of one is to deny our Godhood. So express your gratitude for the love that is Christ consciousness, and express your love for your abundant life.
Thank you, Miss Penny. And thank you again, wow, to all those who are here this afternoon. And thank you to those who are watching, and again to those who will watch later. This is the Church of Christ Consciousness. And we are here for those who truly are ready to live the truth of their being. And this week, the truth of your being is to acknowledge abundance, what abundance really is. That's how you can love yourself deeper, by knowing in your heart the truth that all that God truly does know, all that is needed, and meets it before you even know it. But again, it takes gratitude, faith, and trust. And that comes from you. That is your gift to God for his many gifts to us. And with that, I will ask that you say silently with me our closing prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive. We give and receive in and through love, knowing we are that love. Amen. Thank you, guys. Again, thank you for all of you who are here, those watching and will watch. Have a great week. And remember, you are abundant.
Hey, can we remind everybody?
Yes.
At 4:30, go to Meetup, grab the link for the class.
Yes. And Mita, yes. Miss
And
Penny
fun.
is reminding me to let everybody know that you can go to meetup.com, look for Return to Oneness, and you will see a class at 4:30, A Course of Love, 5:30, A Course in Miracles. On Wednesday at 5:30, we do the Way of Mastery. And at 5:30 this afternoon, within A Course in Miracles, we're doing a mini workshop that I hope that everybody will participate in, because my goal is that when it's over with, you'll never pick this one thing up again, ever.
Your greatest block to abundance.
Greatest block, yes, your greatest block to abundance. All right, guys, thank you and have a good one.
What is our greatest block to abundance?
You'll find out.
He didn't think it was going to be that easy, did he?